Thank you for downloading the Inspirational Women of Portsmouth podcast. My name is Ronnie Edwards and I run Pomodsy Creatives, which hosts the Inspirational Women of Portsmouth Awards. These awards mark International Women's Day through a nomination process where anyone can be nominated for being inspirational, regardless of their context. The project also raises money for the Rape Counselling Service Parks. This series gives us a chance to get to know some of the women who were nominated for the awards. I hope you enjoy them. So, Lorraine, thank you so much for joining us on the Inspirational Women of Portsmouth podcast. You are actually an award recipient in the category of sports because you had an incredible story. I'm just going to read a bit of the text. People who are part of your tribe who saw you as inspirational. So many wonderful things that were said about you. Lorraine lost her lower limb in a climbing accident, and since she received a prosthetic limb, she has gone out and faced the world head on. Lorraine is now part of the Paralympic shooting team, and she also goes out into the community and into schools to inspire young people into taking part in sports. She also educates them in understanding disability, and it's not about stopping them from achieving things, but it's also about finding ways to work for each individual. Lorraine has an enormous zest for life and is always encouraging others to excel.
Oh. Wow.
I absolutely live for this part of my job. I just love hearing people celebrate each other. Can we just go back one, because sure. Know the backdrop of your story. So how does your story begin? How are you a Paralympic athlete?
Right. Well, I had a rock climbing accident in 1997, which left me unable to use my left leg. In the sense that I suffer when I had the accident, I suffered from it's a condition called chronic regional pain. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't put my leg to the floor. If it rained, it would leave like big welts on my leg. So I was in agony with it. And my accident was in 97. I had 16 operations on it to try and reset it and re-put so that I could use the leg again. None of it worked. So it sort of reached about 2005. I had my little boy and I was really, really seriously ill. And I came out the other side of that with an even more determined nature, because I always I was a sports instructor. I wanted to get back to doing sports and things. And I'm fed up with being in a wheelchair, to be honest, and things like that. So I thought, right, okay, what have I got to do? And I spoke to many surgeons and they were like, no, we can't do anything. It's chronic regional pain. We don't take your leg off for. I said, but it's not just that. My leg had withered. It was like a stick. It was horrendous. Yeah. But and I had a little boy at that point. So 2005, I come through. Like I said, I had gestational pancreatitis. So I was really, really ill. I was in ICU. I was, all these things. And I had a little boy growing up. And I'm thinking to myself, I've got through all that. I now want to be able to walk again. Yeah. So 2005, I saw a counsellor and I said to them, like, what have I got to do? They're not listening to me. No one's listening to me. So I actually threatened to cut my own leg off. And that sort of got me heard, if you like. Because at that point, I wasn't really heard. Yeah. It's interesting. And then, it took 5 years to talk them into it. Okay. So 2010, I had my leg off. And it was like 27th of January, that was. And it was like, my God, and they were like, well, they were a bit scared. And rightly so, because chronic regional pain as a condition can move. So if I hurt my finger, you see, I can get excruciating pain in that finger for a long time, a lot more than if you like stubbed your toe or, hurt your fingers or whatever. I can get it for a lot longer as part of the condition. And then it would kind of have my leg off, move to the stump. And they were a bit, we don't know if we want to do this. But I said, I'll tell you what, you just do it and we'll see, because I'm fed up with how things are at the minute. So let's just do it. I said, it's my life, I'd come to the decision. I'm quite a rational person. And they were like, well, okay. So January, I had my leg off. Within 6 weeks, I was up walking along Southsea seafront with my best friend. It's like unaided, no crutches, just like, I can do this. This is easy.
Oh my goodness.
It got to that when I had the leg off, and I had a really, really active physio, Chantal. She's over at the Enablement Centre at Portsmouth. And I kept saying to her, you've got to challenge me. Let's do this, challenge me. So we did. So we played badminton, and we done all sorts of, we're on a Wii board, you know, the Nintendo Wii's, done one of those for the balance.
I'm rubbish.
It was incredible.
I'm rubbish at those. If you want a good laugh, watch me try and play any video games, let alone physical ones. I'm rubbish.
It just went from one thing to the other. So like I say, I'd set myself a goal, and my physio had, of taking part in the Limb Power Games, which is a big charity that enables people with limb loss to be able to take part in sports and in general life activities again.
Right.
And I'd only just literally had my leg off. I was like, that, well, you know, why am I doing this? You know, it's like, I felt a bit scared as well, coming from a sports background. And I was like, that, well, will I be able to compete like I did or enjoy it like I did? But I did.
Your reference point of kind of turning that round in 6 weeks must have really given you mileage to be motivated.
Yeah.
Because I'm still processing that. Like you're walking along the seafront 6 weeks later. That's incredible.
Yeah, if you think my accident was in 97 and I'd been in a wheelchair and on elbow crutches and all that time, so I'd lost a lot of muscle in my legs. Yeah. I'd lost muscle in, I'd built up, I've got really big shoulders now, and that's from elbow crutches and wheelchairs. I can bench press. I'm strong, but yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, so I just took part in the Limb Power Games, and that was just an amazing experience. And so many new amputees.
Yeah, yeah. And how long did it take for you to do that? The game.
So the leg off was in the January, and in May I took part in the Limb Power Games the same year. Yeah, and I represented Portsmouth.
I thought no. Years. That's insane.
No. In the May, yeah.
What did you do in the games exactly?
So I'd done archery, shooting, sitting volleyball, rowing, you name it, really.
Oh, was there more than one sport?
Yeah. Oh. And I won it for Portsmouth for the first female to ever win it, and the first time that they'd seen anyone that literally had just had their leg off and came and took part. So yeah, it was amazing.
That is really inspiring.
And that's where I picked up shooting, because I literally picked up the gun for the very first time in this little mizzen hut. And I picked it up and I shot it, and I shot a 10, which is like right in the middle. And then I've done it again, and they were like, "Oh, hang on a minute." I was like, "That, yeah, it's quite good fun. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it." And they said, "Would you like to come up to a talent ID thing?" So I did.
So it was like a natural instinct gift to just
that, and a lot of the fact that I thought, well, you know, I'll just give everything a go and see what sticks, sort of thing. So I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. Such good fun.
When you go into schools, I guess this is the kind of thing that you will talk about. Like, do you tell stories?
Yeah, it depends. Like when I go into a school, it depends what the school want as well, because I could be part there as part of the anti-bullying campaign, or, you know, all sorts of different things. But I go in and I talk about like my accident and what happened, my leg, and sometimes like a lot of the things at the moment, because of the Paralympics, was like last year was a build up for the Paralympics. Obviously, we'll start that build up again now. But yeah, they want to know about guns. They want to know about what it's like to shoot in a major championships. And obviously, I finaled in Rio. So my first Paralympic game. Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. A little story. You go into, I made the finals. They didn't expect me to make the finals. Very first games, they thought, nah, not going to make the final. I made the finals. And I shoot an event which has got 3 positions, so it's kneeling, prone, and standing.
Okay.
And I picked up the. I said to my coach, just as he was by the side of me, we're waiting in these massive doors. There must have been about 15 feet tall and about 4 foot each side, each door wide. There's like 3 of them there, and they opened the middle one to let the competitors through.
Yeah.
And look left, and there's the targets, which are there like normally 50 meters away, because that's what I shoot at. 50 meters away, and I can see the target, and everything's normal. That's normal. That's change. Or if I look right, there's about 2,500 people watching me in the stadium, and they're like clapping and all that lot. And they'd given all the tickets away for free in Rio to all the school kids.
Okay.
And I thought, right, look left, target. Look left, target. No, I went up through those doors. I looked right, and I went, hey! Like,
don't look right, don't look right. But
my coach just went, oh.
I can't believe you've done that. What an electric feel, though, because all those people must have been gunning for you.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Oh,
that must have really given you mileage.
Yeah, and I mean, I was sat in second for so long. I actually missed out on a medal by the thickness of a piece of paper. So yeah, that's how tight our margins are when we shoot. But I just absolutely, the whole experience of it all. I can't wait for Tokyo. I really can't, because it's just
what's
amazing.
With that? Like with the current situation as it is, have you had to pause on your training or anything, or?
Well, I train at home as well, so I can dry train at home.
Okay.
So I don't actually shoot live. I just dry train, go through the positions of my shooting process at home. So I can do that. Obviously, I'm confined the same as you are. We don't get any special dispensation, and I wouldn't want any. It's just nice to be home for more than a couple of weeks, to be honest. Now,
oh, bless you, because I guess you do lots of travelling anyway, regardless of the training that you're doing.
Yeah, so we compete all over the world. So, in my year should have looked. March I should have been in UAE. May I should be in Hanover in Germany or Lima in Peru. Then June I should be in Slovakia. Yes. And then Novi Sad in July, and then the games in Tokyo. So that's what it should have looked like.
Yeah.
Instead, it's the competition was cancelled, the one in Dubai.
Yeah.
So that is now, we went to Cardiff instead to train, and then the lockdown sort of happened the week after that. So then I was all locked down and at home training since then. But yeah, so it's okay though. I can do my own training here. I've got stuff that I can do, like I've got a spin bike, so I can cycle still, and obviously we get our hour and a half exercise out if we need to, or just cycle around the seafront.
So Lorraine, if you ever need anyone to carry your bags or make on that, like, give us a call, love. That's an amazing itinerary.
You'd have to carry this though. That's my rifle.
That looks. Is it heavy?
Yeah, it's 7 kilos.
Oh my gosh!
I've got 2 of them.
I'd be happy to do that as well. I got my passport ready. Has that been quite frustrating for you, if you kind of managed to fill your time with all the training? And
it was quite funny. I'm training as well, but I've also done some podcasts, not podcasts, but like interviews for schools as well. So I'm still doing some appearances for schools for their school like websites.
Oh, that's
so like like challenging them to learn something, or like there's one school in Leicester that contacted me and said, would I do something for them? I said, yeah, not a problem. So I've given them a couple of challenges, and then when this lockdown's over, I'll go up there and they can show me how they've got on. I've done that with a school in Gosport and another one in Portsmouth as well. So it's been quite good fun as well. And obviously I've done stuff for Limb Power because they're sort of stay active campaign.
Okay, that's a great way to fill your time. Far more productive than my version. I won't unpack what I've achieved.
Netflix is quite handy.
Joe Wicks was quite a pivotal moment for me last week. Because I don't know why I hadn't quite processed this, but at the beginning of last week, my kids and I were like, right, let's do this. Put Joe Wicks on Monday morning. And he went, hello, everyone. We're in our 5th week of lockdown. And I was like, sorry, what? It's been...
When did that happen?
I had a slight meltdown, Lorraine. I was like, we've been doing this for how long?
It does, but have you noticed that you've lost the days? Because someone said to me yesterday, it was Sunday. I went, is it? Are you sure? But we've started to do like a podcast, not a podcast, I keep saying podcast, like a quiz for our family. Yeah. So my mum, my sister and my sister's mother-in-law and their side of the family, all to get together and do an online quiz. So, we've had to sort of stick that to a Saturday because otherwise we'll lose the rest of the week. Yeah. That is our marker.
Know which day of the week it is. So here's a question.
Yeah, okay.
Do you think you are kind to yourself?
Generally, yes, I do. I do quite a lot of like mindfulness stuff. Okay. Obviously, I'm a counsellor by trade.
Oh,
so yeah. So
in your past time,
in my past, I was a sports instructor. Then I'd done a degree, and I've got a PhD in psychology. But
seriously, Lorraine, how did you fit that in? Like.
That was while I was waiting for my leg to sort of had to do something. I was going mad at the time, I think.
If I was waiting for my leg to be amputated, I think I'd do a lot of feeling sorry for myself. I don't know if I'm able to go, I tell you what, I'll fit in a counselling course in that. I think I'd be buying shares too much in popcorn and chocolate. That's quite admirable.
I think I've done quite a lot of that as well.
Oh.
But yeah, I do things like yoga, mindfulness. Obviously, it helps with the shooting as well. So things like I really enjoy yoga. I've got a really good yoga teacher, Carvacious Carla. She's a local girl, and she lives in Portsmouth. She does yoga all around the city. She's really, really good, really good. So so I use her a lot, and she's doing virtual classes at the moment on Zoom. So. This is great.
Is that Curvaceous Carla?
Curvaceous Carla.
I love it. Shout out Curvaceous Carla. Love it.
Yeah, Curvaceous Carla Williams. Yeah, she does candlelight meditation as well. Yeah. So I do a bit of that as well. Yeah, it's really good. So I do. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So you actually, in terms of mindfulness, and being centered, you are quite kind to yourself and gentle.
Yes.
I find myself asking people, I just feel like it's a question that we need to ask ourselves a little bit more, especially in this current, bizarre seasons. Are you being kind to yourself? Good.
That's it. Are you taking just 5 minutes? Yeah. And that's all it takes sometimes. I said this to a friend of mine the other day. I said, don't worry about looking after everyone else. Just take 5 minutes. Yeah. Just go and find yourself somewhere calm and quiet, even if it's just sat on your bed, lock the door and just have 5 minutes to yourself. And I bet you'll feel loads better. Yeah. And she's like that. Literally about 15 minutes later, she went, I've had 5 minutes. I have not showered out the kids for 5 minutes. Oh. I am centered.
I like it. And then, so within that, who would you say has been the most influential / inspirational person in your life journey so far? There might be a couple of people.
Yeah, I mean, I had really good parents, and I still have. My mum's still with us. Unfortunately, I lost my dad a few years ago. But yeah, my parents have been very supportive in everything that I've done from when I first started out in my sports, originally because I was a sports instructor, so they helped me there. So probably my mum and dad have been really my main inspiration. In my sport, I've got so many inspirational males and females that are there, because we've got, in this country, we're very fortunate to have probably the best Olympic and Paralympic shooters in the world. So we've got like Matt Skellen, who's a Paralympic prone shooter. Okay. We've got Dina Coates, who's recently retired, but she's gone into coaching to inspire others. So yeah. And to be honest, I draw on lots of different things in my life. So even my son, who's he's a double black belt, and he's got a black belt in kickboxing and a black belt in karate. And he is just so full of life. It's just unbelievable. But he's so sensible with it. So, yeah, I draw inspiration on everyone.
That's lovely. So last question, or last couple of questions. Just intrigued with your kind of prominence in the sporting world. What would you say is the biggest strength of Portsmouth for you? Like, how do you think Portsmouth, the city, has helped you, or not?
Portsmouth has got such a heart. Portsmouth's got a community, and I think this COVID-19 has showed that across the whole city, how people are willing to, it could be something very minor, like us. Like we've got a driveway, and at the end of our driveway, there's a lady that lives opposite, and my husband puts her bins out for her. And the other day she said, "Oh, don't, just in case." And Wayne goes, "No, it's all right. I'll just stick them out." He's done it before for her, She said, "Oh, you're so lovely." But that's not why he does it. He does it because he's a Portsmouth boy, born and bred. The same as I'm a Portsmouth girl, born and bred. Yeah. My dad's like generations and generations of Portsmouth. So, so I think Portsmouth's got a heart, and that is probably its best thing.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. And I love getting that out in like the atmosphere, because I don't think we celebrate ourselves enough, celebrate the city enough. And I feel like it's my mission to do that. Like, come on, guys, Portsmouth is awesome. Tell me why.
It is. We're a seafront city with an amazing promenade and, amazing people in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I was to say, look, Lorraine, I've got like a budget that never ends for you, and I want you to go out for a meal with 3 people, who would you choose and why?
Who would I choose? Oh, God. Have they got to be alive?
Dinner party. I'm going to say they don't have to be alive.
Okay.
You have to tell me why they're in your dinner party.
Okay. One that's alive to start off with. We spoke about him earlier, Boris. I'd like to shake the man by the hand. And one day I will get that chance to shake the man by the hand.
The rate you're going, you're going to do more than that. I'm going to see you on set a lot with that. So as in Johnson, Boris Johnson.
Yeah, Boris Johnson. Okay. I just think he's done an amazing job. Like I say, I'm not political anyway, but the guy is doing the best that he can with this current situation we're in. One that's from the past, which is my nana. I'd love to show her how I am now.
Oh.
So because she passed away when I was 12. Okay. So I'd like to see her again.
Is this one more dad's side?
Mum's. Yeah. She was a Geordie, so she was from up north, and she was a pivotal part in my growing up. So I'd love to be able to see her now. A third one. Oh, obviously I'd like to see my dad again. Just so that he can see, because he never saw the shooting side of it. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2012, so it was before all this kicked off properly. So 2011, yeah. So it was before all this kicked off properly. So I'd like to see like have a meal with him and show him like, wow,
this is where it's at. This is what you've celebrated with your dad.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. It's always intriguing.
That's okay.
And I love that you didn't do the obligatory, I guess my husband. Some people.
No, I have dinner with him every night.
He's sat over there listening, so I better say my husband.
Even if he was sat listening, I wouldn't. No, actually, he just looked out the window. But yeah, even if him and my son were sat listening, I wouldn't. I'd be like that. No, you're not coming to the dinner party. This is for me. It's like the awards night. They said, so is Wayne going with you, my husband, or Rudy? I went, no, I'm taking my niece because I was going to bring my mum. And I went, no, I'm going to take my niece because she needs to see inspirational women, and this is it. Yeah. She needs to be.
And how did she find it? Did she?
Amazing. She absolutely loved it. She really did. Yeah, she went, so what have I got to do? Because she's a very forthright young lady. Good. And I said, inspire, and it'll be your turn. And she's like that. Oh, I'll take after you then.
Oh, I'll just hang out with you.
That's nice. Yeah.
And so just coming on to that, this is my last question. What advice would you give your younger self? Like, what was it about your younger self that you think, oh, babes, you didn't have to worry about that? Or
yeah. Believe in yourself more, probably. Yeah. Believing that you can do this, you know, no matter what it is, whether it's finding a husband or, you know, whatever it is, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But believe in yourself more.
Thank you. That was wonderful to be able to. Thank you for letting me be really nosy.
You're all right.
And
used to it.
You can imagine. Well, thank you so much for your time, and really grateful that you were able to eke out some time and hang out with me on the podcast.
Yes, my pleasure.